Hey everyone, welcome to Wink Creative Conference. I'm Regine L. Sawyer. I'm the coordinator and founder of the Women in Comics Collective International. We host events around the country, such as panel discussions, workshops, art shows. For the last year, since we've been in the panorama, we've been doing a lot of virtual events. And this is our first virtual conference. We're super excited about it. And here we are. So our first event, because I don't want to waste any time, is with Robin Warren from Geek Girl Strong. She's going to do some awesome opening stretches with you. Also, if you're on the site right now, or if you're watching on YouTube, you have a whole gamut of things that you can click on while watching the show. So if you want to check out Artist Alley 365. If you want to check out your virtual swag bag and download that bad boy, we also have a chat room that folks can talk in after panels, and some of the panelists will jump in and talk to you as well. So I'm super excited for this, and let's get started with Robin. Hey, Robin.
Hey, hi everyone. Hi, Regine.
So I'm going to hand you off. You're in great hands, y'all, with Robin. See
All
y'all.
right.
Bye.
Bye. See you in a bit. Hi, everyone. I hope that you've had a great start to your day. For people on the East Coast, it's only noon. And for everyone on the West Coast and in between, it's still morning. My name is Robin Warren, and I'm the founder of a wellness community called Geek Girl Strong. I'll give you a short spiel about myself so that you know that you're in good hands for sure. And then we're going to go through a bunch of seated stretches together. So if you're seated in a chair, you don't have to get up. Every single thing that we're about to do can be done in a chair. So I have a bachelor's degree in physical education, a master's degree in health education. I was a New York City public school teacher for 5 years. And during that time, I started going to different meetup groups for geeks. And while talking about my work as a PE teacher, some people started asking me, well, do you train adults, and would pay me compliments? Like, if you were my PE teacher, I might have not hated my PE experience so much. So then I kind of started being like, well, I can teach adults. So I got certified as a health coach during my time still as a teacher. And from there, I ended up leaving teaching. I became a clinical family planning health educator while also building up the Geek Girl Strong community. So now we host lots of virtual events with the pandemic, also in-person events like a walking group that happens once a month. We have completely donation-based groups. We also have one-on-one coaching with me and everything that's in between. So the reason why I do this work and the reason why I like to be at events like the Wink conference is because I believe in bringing wellness to where people are rather than constantly expecting for people to take that huge jump of going into a gym space or a studio or to a health coach without even really knowing what a health coach does. So I enjoy being able to bring something that I feel I'm pretty good at or something that I have a lot of knowledge about to people within my community. So lots of geeky people who also maybe didn't have a great experience with PE and can meet someone who teaches a little bit differently and thinks about things like being a creator and sitting at your desk all day and feeling the aches and pains of that and addressing it. Or maybe you're a streamer who wants to add in stretches with your viewers. So it's basically just about keeping everyone healthy and happy, both so that creators can continue creating and so that the rest of us, people like me, can enjoy their creations for, however long it is that we're going to be around. We're going to have a little bit of Q&A at the end. I've tried to make sure to create some time for that. So if you do have any questions about any of the stretches that we're doing, if you need any modifications that I don't show, I'm always really happy to take those kinds of questions and to help out. I was actually an adaptive PE teacher, so adapting and modifying movement for people is something I'm really passionate about. We're going to get right into the stretching now. So we're going to start off by just turning your head to the side as far as you can. And I'm going to try my best to not use right and left, only because sometimes images are flipped and things like that. but I may do it here and there. Just know that we're going to do both sides of everything. From here, I want for you to pull your ear to your neck, side to side. So you might have heard that warming up your body, your muscles, your joints is good to do before stretching. Then look up at the ceiling and down as far as you can to the floor, all the way up and all the way down. And if your movement looks different than mine, that's okay as long as it feels comfortable and safe. Good. Now we're going to make really big circles, and I want for you to use the tip of your nose to make the circle. So rather than the top of your head like this, see if you can't make a really big circle with your nose. So looking all the way off to the side, pointing your nose down at the floor, to the other side, and the ceiling. Then reversing. Ceiling, side, floor, side. Good. Now let's do a little bit of shoulder rolls, whatever feels good to you. I have a little bit of a shoulder injury that I'm still recovering from, so one side looks a little bit different than the other for me. And roll them forward. And if that's the case for you or something similar, that's totally okay. From here, I have my swivel chair so that I can display how you can do this in your work chair or really any chair. And also, it makes it easier for me to demonstrate from the side. What we're going to do first is you're going to take your arm and wrap it behind your back. Then you're going to take your other hand and clasp them, interlocking your fingers. If you can't reach all the way over here, just reach as far as you can. It looks like this from the front. Then I'm going to take this elbow that's sticking out here and pull it back behind me. While you're here, notice if your shoulders are up in your ears. A lot of us tend to hold stress here and lower them down away from your face. From there, you're going to lean your head away from the shoulder that you're pulling the arm back on. So for me, this is my left arm. So I'm leaning to the right. And then just take a deep breath here to slow us down for a second. Good. Gently release and then lean over to the other side first, bringing your fists to your other hip, pulling the other elbow back, and then leaning away from that shoulder. So now this is my right elbow and my head is leaning to the left. And you should get a pretty big stretch coming down here. If you're someone whose mobility doesn't allow for this, see if you can't just hold this hand behind you that I'm waving and reach the other hand down to the floor. You can get a very similar or maybe even better stretch depending on your abilities. Gently release that. Now we're going to interlock both fingers in front of you and we're going to place them on the back of your head. So I look like this. From here, I'm going to bring my chin towards my chest like we did in the beginning, and I'm going to pull my elbows towards each other. From here, I'm going to push my hands into the back of my head, and I'm going to gently push my head back into my hands. So there's this counter push. And then we're just going to hold that, and you should feel a pretty big stretch in the back of your neck. If you want to get a little spicy, you can turn your head to one arm, and you might be able to stretch the side back of your neck. And then you can turn the other way and do the same thing. Good. If you're twisted, come back to the center. Do one more big stretch here. Pull your shoulders down away from your ears. And gently roll yourself up. Good. You might want to shake it out a little bit. From here, we're going to do some back twists. A lot of people have a lot of discomfort in their lower back, and there's a lot that can go into that with posture. But since we're focusing on stretching today, I'm just going to do some gentle twists with you. So you're going to sit up nice and tall, pretending this is my old dancing background coming into play, that a string is pulling you towards the ceiling. And then from there, you'll place one hand on your opposite knee. For me, this is my left hand on my right outside knee. And without pushing my knees, I'm going to take my torso and twist it and look behind me. From there, I can take my other hand and reach towards the back of the chair. See if you can check that your shoulders are down and you're sitting up nice and tall. Take a deep breath here. And as you breathe out, untwist yourself gently. Now we're going to do the other side. So you're going to sit up nice and tall, and then you're going to place your hand on the outside of the opposite knee and gently twist and look behind you as far as you can. Again, your twist might look different than mine, but that's okay as long as it feels safe and good for you. Take that deep breath in, breathe out, and untwist. And of course, you don't have to keep moving to the side. I'm just doing that because I'm in a 2D format with you. So I'm going to make it as 3D as possible. From here, we're going to do some deltoid stretches. So those are your shoulder muscles. We're going to take your right arm is what I'm going to start with. Reach across your body. Now, the way that a lot of people get this wrong and the things that were missed in big, like 50 kid PE classes was to keep this arm straight. From there, you're going to take your other arm and cross at the forearms because you want more leverage. You don't want to be all the way down here. It doesn't do much. So you're here and you're going to gently pull in. Mine doesn't touch my chest because I'm keeping my arm straight. From here, I'm going to look at the shoulder and I'm going to pull it down. Good. And then if you want, you can lean your head away for an extra little neck stretch. You can also start warming up your wrists by doing little wrist circles. Doesn't have to be anything specific. Gently release and try out the other side. We're going to cross with one arm and then cross our forearms. The further down you go, usually the bigger the stretch is. Pull down this shoulder, and then you're going to lean away if you want the extra neck stretch. And again, you can get into your wrists a little bit. You can open and close your hands. You can wiggle your fingers around. All of this stuff helps, especially for those of you who use your hands a lot. Gently release. And we're going to try and stretch our triceps, 3 muscles back here, as well as our sides. And we're going to do a little bit of breathing while we do that. So we're going to reach up, reach to the middle of your back with your hand, like that. And then the other hand is going to grab onto your elbow and pull your elbow towards your midline. For some people, it's not going to go much more, and that's okay. From here, gently push your head into that arm bent behind you. Sit up nice and tall. Pull your shoulders down and lean to the side. Act like you could stretch your ribs all away from each other. And I want for you to try to breathe into your ribs rather than your belly. See if you can do 2 breaths. One more. And gently release. Same thing on the other side. Reaching, holding, pulling, and look up. Then lean, stretch those ribs away from each other, all the little muscles between them, and use those lungs to breathe into your side if you can. Good. Gently release, and we're going to get into the wrists. So start with just putting your hand straight out in front of you. I'll put it off to the side so you can see it. Then you're going to grab all of your fingers, leaving your thumb out. But what I want for you to do is to make sure that your thumb isn't curling into your hand. Open it up nice and wide, and then gently pull backwards. Good. Gently release. Point your fingers down towards the floor, and then reach underneath your arm. Hold on to your thumb gently and gently pull your thumb toward your forearm. Good. And gently release. One more on this hand. Point your fingers down to the floor. There it is. And then you're going to grab the top of your hand and gently pull towards you. Good. Other side. Pointing up. Pull your fingers toward you. Thumb stays out. and then you're going to flip it over, gently pull towards your thumb with your forearm. Then flip it over and pull gently towards you. Good, and shake it out. And then we're gonna finish off with one more that kind of gets into your legs and your upper back, but I wanna make sure to do something down here even though we're running out of time. So you're gonna have your feet right underneath your knees, and we're gonna do a forward fold that stretches your upper back as well. So you're gonna fold over your legs, and then if you can, you're gonna grab onto your toes like this. And then you're gonna let your head fall and pull your back away from your legs, holding on to your feet so that you get a nice stretch. It should feel like your shoulder blades are stretching away from each other. Take a deep breath and then gently roll up. So, as you can tell, there are a lot of different seated stretches that we can do. There's also a figure 4 stretch for a hip opener that gets all in here. That's really good. There's also a calf stretch where you can reach all the way down. Doing ankle pumps is a really good idea too while you're sitting. There are a lot of different ideas. And if you're someone who needs more ideas or would like a list of the things that I've done with you today, plus a few more of the lower body ones, please feel free to reach out to me. You can find me and the rest of the Geek Girl Strong community at Geek Girl Strong all over social media, though I'm mostly on Instagram. You can also find my podcast at Healthy Geek Pod. It's called the Healthy Geek Academy. That has more of the stuff I've been talking about today. And then you can find everything that I and the whole community is doing at geekgirlstrong.com. My email is geekgirlstrong@gmail. So you can absolutely reach out. Let me know if you want a list of the things we did today, and I'm happy to share them. I think the last thing is just that we're having one of our donation-based walking groups, Fangirl Walking Club, this Sunday at 11 a.m. here in New York City. So if you're interested, you should definitely get on that. The links are all over the sources that I just told you about. And I think that that's it. I hope that you all enjoy your conference and that those stretches made you feel a little bit better and ready for the day.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Robin. Thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So we're about to head off to the next panel, which is the Pop Culture and Analysis Forum, and we'll see you there. Bye. See you in a minute, I should say.